And we're back with Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, this time Season 3, Episode 11. Yes, we're going to be continuing on. I am going to stop seeing what my goals are for the night, for every week when I do this from now on, because I always fail. So I'm not going to embarrass myself any further, and I'm just going to keep going. So, yeah. Last episode, major developments on not one but two storylines that combined into one storyline. So yeah, the Vilgax and the Flamekeeper's Circle storyline and the Forever Knight's George storyline both combined into one. Turns out that Dagon is in fact Dagon, the one who the Flamekeeper's Circle think Vilgax is, was actually a dragon who George, back in the early days, defeated. And you got the whole story of George, the great knight, versus the dragon. And he beat the dragon by keeping his sword embedded into the dragon's heart. It kept the dragon from, or Dagon, it kept it from regaining all its power. But Vilgax took the sword out because the Flamekeeper's Circle brought him to where George kept the sword and the heart, resulting in a fight between the Flamekeeper's Circle and the Forever Knights, which I did not see coming. Yeah, it resulted in Vilgax claiming that sword, becoming a temporary Forever Knight, it looked, by the armour he was wearing, and he has now freed Dagon, or rather Dagon has taken Vilgax. George has gone through a Benjamin Button phase where he has just gone backwards in age, and now he's back to how he was in prime form. So will this episode have anything to do with that? I hope so. But honestly, if it doesn't, I'm not that much worried, unless it's a bad episode. No more JT and Cash, and no more Argit either. No more of either of those. Will this have something to do with the Nana McQueen? She's still out there. I don't know, but we'll find out in a minute. So let's just get into Season 3, Episode 11 of Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, starting right now. Carrying on straight from last episode.
I see what the dragon saw. Let the dragon come.
We've never had that before, where we see the exact same scene twice in one episode, and now we're going to see the continuation of that.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, you'd think he'd have helmet hair.
You have my permission to genuflect.
He means kneel down to him.
Oh, not gonna happen.
No. Oh.
You need to put the sword down.
Ascalon is mine. No.
Azmuth?
Mine.
Ooh, Azmuth? It is. This isn't going to end well. Embarrassing.
That was a really quiet monster.
It wasn't there. If you want it, you'll have to take it from me.
You think I can't? Ben Tennyson, take it from me.
You got it.
Ben, wait, doesn't this seem a little...
Azmuth is telling me to fight. You think I'm passing that up?
No, this is a bad idea. Something tells me this is wrong. I mean, Gwen is saying it's a bad idea, and she's usually right. Fast track. Budget accelerate. Why are you tucking his hair?
Respect your elders, stripling. And by the way, hair pulling? Seriously? You... And that should...
Okay. George is powerful. I mean, I knew this, but I didn't know how powerful.
Be assured, the next time you get in my way will be the last.
Wow.
Man makes a convincing case. What do you think, Ben?
Ben is over there.
Oh,
I would have loved it if he just dipped on them. Oh, is this Primus? This looks like Primus, but red.
I can't even feel it.
That's because it's not really here.
Is this Primus?
Yes, the concept may be too much for a human mind to grasp.
Not if you've seen A Christmas Carol.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Now be quiet and pay attention.
Bah humbug. He's the ghost of Azmuth past.
Yes, and you can't change the past no matter how much one would like to.
Still at work, Azmuth?
Ooh.
If I'd known you'd become so obsessed with it, I'd never have created that subatomic viewer for you.
It enables us to gaze upon the primal forces of the universe, Zenith. How can you not want to harness it?
But I don't see the need to try and control everything.
If you can't control something, you don't truly understand it. I'll try things your way. Promise.
Let me guess. You broke your promise.
And I looked to the heavens, gazing at those glowing planets shimmering in a straight line, and all I could see was...
A sword?
It's perfect. It's not my job to worry about what happens next. What matters is what happens now.
Well, that's true enough.
Ow! What? No, it's not.
No, it's
true.
not.
That's the point of what I'm showing you. It's finally finished. Come see. Zenith. Oh, well, she'll be back.
No, she wasn't back.
She didn't come back, did she?
No.
Hit me in the head because you were dumb enough to ignore your girlfriend?
When was the last time you called Julie?
This isn't about me.
You know of the incursions?
Sure.
Oh,
a
God.
space go-
Did you ever wonder what happened to their home world? It was
Oh.
as
Oh, man.
How did George wind up with the sword?
I gave it to him.
It's Earth, isn't it?
Yes. I came here when Earth's history was at its darkest hour, and I made things worse. His minions, already in our dimension to pave
Whoa.
the way, encountered resistance. The Knights gave a good accounting of themselves, but many fell to the mind control powers of the...
Nasty. Oof. I mean, I suppose if it's aliens, it doesn't matter much when they get sliced to pieces. Ooh, Big Mama! Wow! Oh. He's doing a Legolas from Return of the King. Well, he was. Whoa! Right in the head.
You were born, what, 900 Earth years ago?
Well,
How did you... It's my business to know.
It's true. I was born Georgius, a Roman soldier, in the year 231 AD, nearly a millennium ago. Why do you not wield it yourself?
Because I am not worthy.
whoa.
No.
I can't watch. I'm gonna be sick.
Azmuth, get us out of here now.
Now! As you wish.
So you're saying the sword needs someone worthy? Someone incredibly brave and handsome?
No!
Someone with a stylish green jacket?
Didn't you learn anything?
I'm the go-to guy for universe saving.
We don't even know where he is. I mean, if I had something that belonged to him, maybe I could find him.
How about this?
Oh my god.
What's that? His hair?
This didn't work out for you last time. Okay, this one might.
Big. But I've slain bigger.
True. Oi.
That sword has too much power for you.
Yeah.
Everyone from Azmuth to your parents to those jackals in the media. Does it not frustrate you, their thinking they know better?
Yeah.
Welcome to my world. How many times have you known in your heart that your way is best? How many times have your plans been thwarted because the very people you're trying to help won't trust you?
What do you want?
To be left alone, so that I can destroy my ancient enemy.
This way we have 2 chances at destroying that whatever it is. George has earned the right to try it his way. Azmuth, I think you shouldn't have tried to stop him.
You could be right.
What? I'm right?
Maybe the world is coming to an end.
I said, and it's not as if I've never made mistakes, as you now know.
Yeah.
All the reasons I told you that I built the Omnitrix and Ultimatrix, they're all true. But there was one more I was hoping she would notice.
Oh, wow. Whoa! What's this now? A shameless plug for the Patreon is what it is. Basically, telling you to go on over to my Patreon page if you want to see more content from me. At this point, we've got a pretty good back catalogue of shows that we've reacted to, and the perks of being a paying patron means not just full length and early access to those shows, but also to Patreon exclusive shows and movies that did not make it onto this YouTube channel. Now, of course, the choice of which pledge to make, to which tier to pledge to, is yours, if any at all. I'm not forcing you to spend your money. But the more money you pay, the more perks you get. But every single paying patron will get their name at the end of every single one of my YouTube videos in the credits. Fair warning, I do record weeks and weeks in advance, so don't panic if you don't see your name up there straight away. It will come up eventually. Anyway, I have rambled enough about the Patreon and trying to get you to spend your money, so let's get back to the video. Oh, that was such a good episode. I'm so happy that it was a follow-on from the last one. Oh, let's rank. Oh, okay. Is it better than episode 9? Of course it was. Better than episode 3, which was the second on episode, yes. Better than that one. Better than episode 5. Albedo, yes. Better than episode 8. The Trash Island, yes. Better than episode 6. Nano Queen, yes. Better than episode 1. The first Forever Nights episode, yes. Better than episode 4. The Vilgax episode, yes. Better than episode 2. The DN Aliens episode, yes. Better than episode 7. The Ultimate Forms going haywire, yes. Is it better than episode 10? Oof. Does this deserve to take the top spot? Yes! Yes it does! Yes it does! This episode goes straight to the top, and you know why? Because it gave me something that I was never expecting, but I didn't know I needed it, but I did. Was an inside look at Azmuth, talking about his regrets and his motivations and everything. Because Azmuth is a character who's been around for a long time, and you know what? I've never. This might be my stupid brain doing this, but I've never once thought about his motivations and his past and his regrets. I've never once thought about it. But now that I got them, it's increased. It's made him 10 times a better character just seeing this inside look at his past and what he did and all of his regrets. When he first showed up, I was like, okay, why is Azmuth here? First of all, I was so happy that this was a continuation of last episode, because it's not very often that you get those in this show. Like this, like in Ben 10 in general, unless it's like a finale or something like that, you very rarely, like it's either a premiere or a finale. You never really get 2-parter episodes. But this one, it started with the very last scene of the last episode, and Ben 10 doesn't usually do that, but I was so happy that it was. I was so happy that it did that, and I suppose it answered my questions from the last episode as well, like, is George going to be a reluctant ally? And for a minute I thought he was going to be... Once again, he kind of is. Like, they played all throughout, like, at the beginning of the episode as well, when he started fighting them, I thought, okay, maybe George is going to be an enemy that we have to deal with before we get to the dragon, or the Dagon thing, but once again, he's become some sort of a reluctant ally, a first offensive against the Dagon, and then when he inevitably fails, which I know he will because this is Ben 10. Well, he's got to be the hero. He's always got to be the hero. He's got to be the one to face the Dagon in the end, the Dagon Vilgax in the end. So he's sort of a first strike means. That's what he is. So he's not really an enemy at the moment. And I didn't expect George and Azmuth to know each other. That was weird. But once again, everything in this episode I liked. I don't think there was one thing I didn't like in this episode at all. He's got some crazy powers with that sword, but you know what? Since it was made by Azmuth and everything like that, it's since it was made by the smartest being in 5 galaxies, I can just accept that it has those powers. Like, he was literally blocking the Anodite powers with Gwen. He was spinning it around, creating a tornado. He was slicing through reality, interdimensional reality holes. He was doing all this kind of shit, but since Azmuth created it, I'm like, okay, I get it. And then after the hair pulling thing, I did not expect that to come back. Like, I just saw him doing it. I thought, okay, that's kind of weird. That's not usually how Kevin does things. And then you heard a little tear, but it just went completely out of my mind. George even referenced it, like saying hair pulling, really? And then it came back towards the end, which I'll talk about later, but let's try and get through this episode in chronological order. So then we were treated to Azmuth explaining how the sword is actually his, which I don't personally agree with. Like, yes, he made it, but he gave it to George. Like he said, there was like, at that time, I never heard like you can use it, but then give it back later. I never once heard that, so I don't technically agree with Azmuth saying that the sword belongs to him, because he gave it to George. Like, it's like someone giving you a present at Christmas. Like, that's your present. It is yours. It doesn't mean that the person who gave it to you can take it back whenever they want. They've given it to you. So that's how it feels with this. Like, that sword belongs to George because Azmuth gave it to him. And then we were treated to the inside look at Azmuth, which I never knew I needed, but I'm so happy I got, with the Primus. A look at Primus from so long ago. I at first I thought, are we going to see Eunice, and is this what's happening to Primus now? But it was an early version of Primus. It was the earliest version of Primus, and it showed Azmuth in his younger years with Zenith and his obsession with trying to control things, with trying to understand things that are not meant to be understood. And eventually it drove the love of his life away. Because he cared more about his work than he did about her. And he didn't listen to what she was saying. And in his attempts to get her back, or get her to notice once again, he gave the sword to George on Earth when it was under its darkest time, when the Kubra or the Dagon were invading, and it showed the brutal reality of what was happening during that time, as opposed to the fables that were told last episode of George. Like, they depicted it in all bright colours, all happy mood, and of a brave knight fighting against this monster which was terrorising a town. But no, it was a war, and it was like the Lacubras were taking over other soldiers, and the soldiers were fighting each other, and so the soldiers that were left had to fight against the Lacubras and their own brothers, and it was just a brutal war. And it showed George fighting against all these Lacubras, chopping them up, which is probably a lot more sensitive considering, like, I recently watched a Blind Wave reaction to Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire, and they were talking like when Kong rips like an animal open, all its green blood like falls onto Kong. It's like, oh, because it's green blood, it allows it. They were like, oh, the green blood allows it to have this rating, so it doesn't look incredibly brutal. Because just such a simple thing as like changing the blood to look all red, it makes it look so much more gory, and then that makes it the rating a lot higher than it needed to be. Something similar here. Like, you can't show humans getting chopped up. You can't even show fucking gunfire. You can't even show bullets flying. But what you can show is blaster fire and aliens getting chopped up. You can show that, but you can't show the other stuff. Azmuth came to George, and we learnt that George has always been special. It wasn't the sword that made him special. He's always been very special. Apparently, he was a Roman soldier. He's not even technically, well, he wasn't even born a Forever Knight. He wasn't born in England. He doesn't have that accent naturally, but yeah, he was born a Roman soldier, and he was like 900 years old at that point. So he's lived 1,000. Like he said, he's lived 1,000 lives since. So, yeah, George has always been very special, and that's probably where a lot of his strength to fight against the Lacubras comes from. Just this sheer will of being alive for so long, and all this knowledge and strength and stuff built up over all the years that he's been alive. Definitely makes the mind a lot more stronger than someone who's been alive for 30, 40 years. The mind is a lot more powerful the longer it's lived. Well, in someone as special as George, that is. But what makes him... Why is he that special? I don't know, but... it does not matter to me, really. The fact is, he was special, and he's allowed to do this. And Azmuth, once again, everyone's thinking like the sword will corrupt George, and he's saying like it didn't then, why should it now? Maybe the reason it didn't then was because he had the sword, he had it for a short amount of time before he stabbed it into the dragon's heart, and then he let go of it, and then he left it for years and years and years. So it probably didn't have time to corrupt him, but if he holds on to it for a certain amount of time, will it change? It's like the ring, like, with certain people in Lord of the Rings, they can hold it for a certain amount of time, and if they let go of it then it's okay. But when you have it the longer you have it, the more you want it, and the more you're corrupted by it. So, is the sword in some way like that? But they didn't show us the actual final battle between George and the Dagon. Gwen and Kevin couldn't even stand to look at it. Ben didn't want to be there either. It was too brutal for them to show. And yeah, now we come to, and then we head to Area 51 through the hair pulling that was shown at the beginning. George talked about it. We heard the tear of the hair from his head, and Kevin gave that to Gwen, and she used it to track him. Which then led us to Area 51, where it was pretty interesting that they showed Gwen and Kevin fighting the Forever Knights, but they didn't actually win, and the battle only ended because George and Ben came to an understanding. So it definitely puts a lot more credit on these Forever Knights that they were able to just keep coming and almost get Gwen and Kevin to... They almost beat Gwen and Kevin, and it only ended because it was interesting how George appealed to Ben, like saying, like, people have always second guessed you all their lives. Wouldn't it be great if for once you got to do things your way and succeed at it, because people have always doubted you. Bringing up all the stuff about the media, his parents. Oh my god, in Alien Force, the episode with his parents, when they found out about the Omnitrix on him and they tried to ground him, tried to stop him from doing anything, that annoyed me so much, because I was thinking, like, he knows what he's doing, he's been doing it for so long, you can't, like, just restrict him like this. So that I definitely understand with this. And then talking about the media as well, with, what's his name, Harang. Oh my god, that guy is so incredibly annoying. It makes me like J. Jonah Jameson. And it makes me like a J. Jonah Jameson that's not J.K. Simmons. That's how bad it is. And yeah, basically appealed to Ben, and Ben decided, you know what, you're right, you've earned the right, because you beat it so long ago, you've earned the right to try and try and do what you should have finished all those years ago. So now George has gone off, he's on his way to fight the Dagon and the Forever Knights are going with him. And eventually he's gonna fail, obviously. But he's earned the right to try. And the last moment as well, the last moment where Azmuth told Ben the real reason that he created the Omnitrix and the Ultimatrix in the first place. It's because he wanted Zenith to come back. He wanted her to notice that he's changed and that he's not trying to control all these things anymore, and he just wants her back. I do hope she comes back. I'd like to see her in the present day. But yeah, an introspective look on Azmuth was something I never knew I needed, but I'm so glad that I got. So, well done to this episode for doing that, and as the ranking shows, it's the best episode this season. The last two episodes have been on fire. I can only hope that the remainder of this season can live up to it, but I don't think it will, because this season goes up to, what, 20 episodes, we're only on episode 11. It's not gonna hold the consistency of the last two episodes all the way until then. But it's welcome to try, and I hope the finale can deliver. But God, these last two episodes have just been so good. So good. But yeah, we're gonna try and keep going with it tonight. If not, then that's me of a failure again. But yeah, for now that's all we've got. Oh, I've got to promote the Throne account. There is a Throne account link in the description for people if you wish to go and donate money to a wish list that I've set up on Throne to hopefully donate towards something helping in the backdrop, maybe part of a decoration, who knows, maybe something to help with the production side of this channel. It is up to you what you do there. So yeah, that's all we've got for this episode of Ben 10 Ultimate Alien. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!